morning. Good morning, Bubba. Good morning, Kevin. Good morning, Tilly. It is Saturday, which is a fantastic day, because it's the first day that I don't have to go into work. Not that I hate work that much, but it's just the concept of having to wake up early and do something for nearly your entire day that I'm not a huge fan of. So anyway, I'm going to be getting around here, getting this day started. I'm not sure what the plan is for today, but we'll find out as we go. And now I've gotten up and around. I've gotten some food made that was leftovers from this week, and as you can see, well, maybe you can, maybe you can't. I've showered. I'm going to be sitting here, eating quickly, watching a video while I eat. Then I'm gonna finish up getting ready, and then I'm gonna be heading on out. I don't know what I'm doing yet. That's another thing that I should probably do while I'm sitting here. I don't know what the plan is, but I just feel like I need to do something. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be getting up and around here and figuring out what the plan is. Well, I have an idea for what I'm going to do today, and it's kind of crummy outside, which might make what I have planned a little worse, but I think it'll be worth it. I think it'll be something really cool for me to have documented. Probably going to be a rather long video, so if you're not down for that, then go ahead and click away, because I mean, I haven't seen it yet, but you can see how long it is, and I'd imagine that all the stuff that I'm going to talk about is going to end up being quite long. So I'm going to get a cup of coffee here. I've already had one today, but I'm going to just take one on the road. Dogs are out. I'm going to let them in, and then we're going to be heading on out. Alright, well, my car did not fail me today, which is fantastic. Hopefully it doesn't as we continue the day here. But that being said, we're gonna get this video going here. We're gonna see exactly what the plan is here coming up. So that is kind of a symbolism of what today is going to be. Today is going to be kind of a throwback. This album, along with Simple Plan's, I don't know what album actually it was, but Maroon 5 along with Simple Plan were some of the first CDs that I ever owned, albums that I owned. So that is kind of setting up into the segue of when I was listening to this, what was I doing. We're going to take a trip back to where I grew up, kind of show you around where, like, you know, what I was doing, what the area was like and everything like that. I think that this will be really cool for me to see later on, and to be able to show my kids in case I'm not living in this area and can't show them what exactly I was doing, what my area looked like. So that's what this video is going to be. It's going to be kind of a throwback video. Well, first destination, we're almost to. This is my old neighborhood, Westchester Ridge. This begins my area here. So we'll go over to my house here in a second. Alright, well, I'm not going to stay in this area for too long because it is someone's house and it's not ours anymore. But this is my old cul-de-sac. That is my old house. That is my old house. And man, right here, this is where my childhood happened. This cul-de-sac right here, man, we'd play kickball. These two houses, this house was a house that like other little kids that lived there, and that was like my main source of entertainment, was just going outside, playing outside in that area, hanging out with my neighbors, and just running around being crazy in that exact area. So we'll continue on. So where I'm driving right now is right back out from where I just drove in. I just drove in along here. And this, I used to take that path every day in elementary school, walking to school. So just from my house. I'd walk to elementary school every day, and we'll go there and check that out. Check that area out right now. So this is my old elementary school, Deer Ridge. You can see the little kid playground back there. But that was like when you're in kindergarten, maybe first grade, you'd go there. And this is the front entrance to my school. I'd walk right along that path that you could just see there, right into that front gate there. Hold on, we'll show you. Right there. Walked right along here and right up to that door every single morning. And we'll get out here and show you around the play set, which has been renovated since I was there, but just to kind of show around the area. And here we go. So this is the new play set, which none of this looked like this when I was here. Mind you, this was back when I was in elementary school, so that would have been, let's see, how old are you, around 7? This would have been like 15 years ago. Yeah, that's crazy. This is the only piece that remains from when I went here. This big swing, and I guess I can walk up there and show that off, because this was like, you'd go up over here with girls, and you'd like, you know, the girls would be up here like chatting and stuff, and you know, doing their thing, and you'd be like trying to be all smooth with the girls. Hold on. So this is like a big thing that you can get on. I don't know if you can tell, but it moves a little bit. So that's that, and then I would come down here, and there used to be other structures here, as I was saying, but we used to play football in here. We'd always get in trouble because we were not supposed to be playing football. We were supposed to be, you know, just running around doing non-physical tackling stuff. They would always get mad at us for it. But so this is the that was not here when I was there. What does that even say? Buddy bench? Huh. That's nice. All right. Anyway, like I was saying, this is all renovated since I was here, so it looks super clean and everything like that. It did not look like that when I was around. Also, they have the soccer field here, soccer post here, or goal there and there, and then the baseball area. You could do all that kind of stuff. Grew up in a pretty nice neighborhood for, you know, to have all this kind of access to this kind of stuff. I was very fortunate in that respect. So anyway, that's that. Where to next? So the buses used to always line up in this area. Instead of going back to my house after work, or I mean after school, because my parents were at work, I would go over to my grandparents, which luckily they lived right around the corner. So I'll kind of show you where they lived, and where I would go every day, sometimes before and after school, and where I continued to go until towards the end of middle school. I stopped going over there every day, and it was more of like a weekly activity for me to go visit my grandparents. But it's just around the corner here, and we'll go check that out as well. Well, this is my grandparents' old house. Now you see the big orange bus there, which is what we call Bob. That is my dad's Revcon. He just somewhat recently got that, and he's taken over their house since my grandma passed away, and my grandpa is living in an assisted living facility. My dad has kind of taken over that house. But yeah, that's where I would go before and after class or school every day for a majority of my elementary school and probably middle school years. And just to give some perception, just down this road is where I just took you to my grandparents' old house. I know some people that live along this road here, but here we'll show you the proximity that it has to how close-knit everything is. It's just been, 10 seconds since I was at my grandparents', and you can see the school is right back in that area. So that's how close we were, my grandparents were, to my school. And as I said, I walked to school from my house, so I was just around the corner from there. So it was very like, this was my area kind of thing. And the additions all interconnect, so you can see there's sidewalks and everything like that. So I was always riding my bike through this area, getting from my grandparents to my house. You know, there was constantly going back and forth, wandering around, and now we're right back. That is the road that the cul-de-sac is off of, and right here is the sidewalk that I take to walk to school every day. So that's my elementary school years. It was just secluded to this area, running around, being crazy, riding bikes, you know, just very physically demanding years that I had. Just being a typical kid, I guess, just running around like crazy. Oh, and then, so right out in front of my high school, there's this path that they put in, right in here, and that is called the bike path. I don't know how we ever thought of such a clever name for it. But anyway, when I was in middle school, I would always be riding my bike down here to this gas station and getting Monsters and energy drinks, you know, just because obviously I needed some. When I was that age, I was crazy already, and the last thing that I needed was some energy drinks or anything like that. But I consume them anyway, and so we'll take you on over to my middle school now. So this is the big highway, not big highway, but this is technically a highway that takes you from my previous school to my middle school, from my elementary school to my middle school. And you can see it's nice and paved now. The sidewalk, I'm sorry. The sidewalk is nice and paved. There's sidewalk going through this entire area. That wasn't the case when I was growing up. And in fact, one day after football practice, that's right, I did football for like a single year, but I would, after football practice one day, I walked with one of my friends down this entire way, which is, I think it took us about an hour to get back from my high school, or from my middle school back home, and walked this on the side of the road the entire way with no sidewalk or anything like that. And I remember my ankles were so sore because like it was on a ditch hill, and so my ankles were having to support me the entire time, like on this weird surface. And anyway, enough of a rant about that. But this isn't a super far drive, but it was enough that it took my friend and I a long time to get home. I think football practice got out at like 5, and we didn't get back until like 6 or something like that. So there was no reason for us to walk that entire way. We could have called for a ride, and there would have been people that would have taken us home, but we were just like, we'll just walk. I don't think my parents were very happy about that, but we did it nonetheless. So we're coming up on my middle school now. Alright, and we're coming up on my middle school here, Woodside Middle School, which is where I went to middle school. So this is the building, and kind of show you around the area, give you a little familiarity with the area that I spent 3 years. So coming up here, we've got a big parking lot. So this was where all the buses parked when I went here. And funnily enough, this is where my dad took me when he taught me to drive for the first time. So back when I was like 15 or whatever, before I got my permit, we came to this parking lot right here and just drove in circles, just like this, but just did circles and laps of this area to teach me how to drive, especially because I was learning to drive on a manual transmission. You can see we had some practice soccer fields out here. We used to practice football in this area, both of which I played not very well. I guess I didn't play middle school soccer, but anyway. And then over here you can see the stadium where this is where all the magic happened when I was in middle school. You'd go to the games and hang out and socialize, and that was a lot of fun. And this is all where I spent my my adolescent years prior to going to high school, and I was a real dirtball. I was a real dirtball during those years. Definitely middle school was the time that I look back on and cringe the most at what I said and did. But anyway, so that's enough of middle school. We'll go on to high school. And this is my high school. This was as I said, a better point in my life where I was much, I don't know, I grew up a lot in high school, as I imagine most people do, but for me, it went from me being like, I don't know, when I look back, I was super rude and just, in middle school, and I was that way at the beginning of high school, but I kind of turned myself around, I feel like, during these years. So, this is the area, right in this area, that I would park in the mornings, and I would go right through the show choir band door, which wasn't labeled like the gymnasium auditorium, but it's just this door right there. And that's where I would used to go into school every day, because my first class of the day was show choir, and that's how we got started. The area that I didn't ever go to, which was the baseball stadium, which is over here. There, you can see there's stands over here. Not an area that I spent time ever, but there's also a big parking lot back here over by the yellow, red, and blue building. And then also right here, this was a big football practicing area, which I never went to because I didn't play in high school because I was so tiny. And then here is the entrance to our football stadium, and we. This was really the where I used to love to come in middle school. So in middle school, you want to be in high school, and thus there was a dedicated middle school section of this stadium that was like over in this area right here of the stadium, and so you could go over there all the time to, like, you know, hang out, and you thought you were super cool and everything like that, because, you know, you were hanging out with the high schoolers, even though you were kind of secluded into a middle school section. But anyway, this is our field. Didn't really do much on the field itself. I don't think I didn't play any sports during high school. So anyway, this is a pretty big building. I remember, I think, doing a lap around the entire building, running along the edge. I think it was like a quarter mile or something like that. So, you know, cross country would run that area because it was a decent distance and a decently measurable distance to run. So that's high school done. What else is there? I think that really concludes it. About halfway through high school, my mom moved out to where I currently live. My dad moved just down the road a little bit, but my parents got divorced when I was in high school. So then this drive right here is one that I would make every single day, and it was about I think door to door would have been about 30 minutes, but I would go and pick someone up who lived past the school, and so it was like a 45-minute drive every day for me, which was less than ideal, but it was fun because, you know, I he was my friend, and we were able to hang out and stuff. And that's Logan, who I'm sure has been involved in the video at some point in time.
Nachos Grande 775. Steal. It's a steal.
So anyway, this this drive down this seemingly desolate road is what I was used to for about a year and a half, 2 years. Yeah, it's crazy to think that this car has seen this path so frequently. Well, what a throwback. It was kind of cool to go back and see all the old places. I haven't actually spent time looking and going back to those places, so that was kind of cool. I am back home now. Time to get the dogs back out and see what the rest of the night will hold now. Well, what the rest of the night will hold, I guess, turned out to be editing. I have the video edited at this point, and it's it's quite a bit later, but I've spent that time hanging out, talking with my mom, editing, and also I kind of didn't want to record too much more, considering the video is already currently at like 22 minutes. So I want to wind things down, so that's that. I'm going to be grabbing some food here and then going to bed, waking up bright and early. But tonight we get an extra hour because of daylight savings time. So that's fantastic. That's prime. I'm going to be ending this here, though, getting the night wound down. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you tomorrow.